So now we're on the second part of the workshop where we're actually going to try to sort of sketch some of these, some of the things that we've talked about earlier, and namely, we're going to go back and we're going to start with the what are the goals of this website. So as I said, I have two main objectives with this website. One of them is going to be to convert, and then the other is to further inform, right? To give extra information about this app. Okay, and sort of the conversion, that's pretty straightforward. What I want to do here is essentially to get people from the website onto the app stores as quickly as possible, right? So they can download. So this is my entire goal of the conversion part. But now comes the question about, okay, well, what are the informations that are important for me to include in this app? Well, knowing my crowd, they will they will be important. So for them, it's going to be very important to understand the point system of the app, or how is effort measured? And why do I think this is important? Well, if you're going to be the type of person that is going to be tracking the time and the performance of your workout and your weights, and I'm going to have a feature that is going to start comparing your results with someone else within the same community, you will all of a sudden be like, okay, well, why is that person getting or leveling up faster than I am, or why am I leveling up, or why not, or whatever. Yeah. The other thing that knowing my crowd, that they might be very interested in understanding more, is actually about sort of the graphs that they're going to encounter. So are we going to have a different measurement for each exercise? And how is that going to be translating and working with this point system that I just previously mentioned? So CrossFit has, I would say, more than 100. So it's 100 plus different exercises, which the app actually will be covering. And there's going to be different types of graphs that are going to be represented, but the main one is just going to be the line graph here. So I'm going to have to talk about the point system and about measuring the exercises. See? Measuring the exercises. Cool. Now, so we're going to have to add some standard information onto this as well. So I'm going to doodle my way out from here. And I'm going to say that we're going to have to describe all the MVP features, which are 4 of them, right? And I'm thinking just a very small section about me, about sort of who I am, and because they probably want to understand, okay, well, who is this guy and why is he doing it? For the type of people that I'm addressing myself towards, sort of the community which I'm closest a part of, and some of the more active participants within my community, they're out on AMA. So I'm actually thinking of adding a small icon like made blah, blah, blah. Like made with love on Alma. So that might be a bit important to add for me as well, but let's see. All right, cool. So we know the we know the purpose of this, to convert and the information, and then we kind of went a bit further into what this information is going to be. Cool. Then going further in the presentation that I just gave you, looking at the industry. Well, we kind of went through this. We went through some of the websites over there. What are the sets of regulation and expectations or domain? Well, it's all about safety around coaches. So we can let's try open it. Let's try to do doodle here, which is going to be industry, right? So we can see that there's an accent towards performance here and a bit of safety. Good. Yeah, and then when it comes to jargon, we have a very specific language that CrossFit comes with, namely VOD, which is the workout of the day, EMOM, which is every minute on the minute, and RFQ, rounds for quality, etc., etc. Cool. Now, what's the tone of voice and design language? So we could already see so far. I mean, perhaps this is not as important for this stage of your website development, but it's still good to sort of observe it. So we saw a very gritty style, industrial with very powerful contrasts in some of the websites. So we had black, yellow, and then this strong blues, right? Blue. All right, cool. Now, moving forward, we looked at the competition as well. We have some good ideas and some concepts that we have here. Okay, so what are our user needs and what about our audience? What's our target audience? So as I previously said, these are going to be CrossFit people. The average is probably going to be between 25 and 45. Looking at the survey that I had, it's probably going to be, I think the gender ratio is 55-45 to male to female. So people, they're quite modern, cosmopolitan, ambitious, right? And then hardworking. Cool. So these are sort of the characteristics of my audience. And what do they expect? So I kind of touched a bit upon this. What they're probably going to be trying to understand is how the point system works. How does this work together with measuring their individual exercise, their PRs, and then they're going to try to understand more about some of the other features of the app. Cool. And this is going to be valuable information for them outside of me trying to make them, or to try to convert them in any way. Right. So for the scope of this website, what I am thinking is that I'm going to be needing, I'm going to need a website. Essentially, this is why we're here. And I'm probably going to need, I would say, let's think about what are the pages that I'm going to need. So I'm going to have my home page. So this is the landing page when you when you access the URL. Then I'm probably going to need some information about the features of the app. I'm going to probably present some of them on the home page, but I'm not going to push it all. So we talked about in class, we talked about this this idea of progressive disclosure. So on the home page, I might have some cards. I might gonna have 4 cards, just briefly naming them, though I don't know if I'm gonna use the cards, but that's an idea. I'm briefly gonna name them, but then I'm probably gonna link these 4 cards onto the feature pages as well, where I can talk a bit more about them. Cool. So I'm going to have a home page, a feature page. Then what else did I wanted to talk? I would probably do a separate point system page, because this is just going to take a lot. And so from this page, probably the point page, this might go separately onto a different one. And I'm probably going to have a about that is about me and who I am and the developers, or again me, and that's pretty much it. So it's a pretty straightforward website. So far we have 1, 2, 3, we have 4 pages, right? So the scope is I'm going to have 4 different pages on this website. Cool. Now we're going to try to think about, we mostly focused on the information side of things, right? Oh yeah, before we start going towards the customer journey, are there any specific things that I really want to include in this app? I mean, it could be cool to have a video on the hero section, but I'm probably, at least for this iteration, I don't want to lose that much time on it, and I'm probably going to skip it, to be fair. Do I have any other? I'm definitely not going to have any music or sound on it. That's a bit 2007. Any cool animation or anything particular? Honestly, not really. For this stage of the development of my app and of my project, I just need a landing page that reflects the brand. It's purely utilitarian and it's very simple, because again, the large part of the conversion is going to happen in other distribution channels. Cool. So now I don't really have to prioritize anything or that much, perhaps except the video part, where I'm just gonna set it aside for now. Cool. Good. Now when it comes to the information architecture, and the customer journey, rather, as the first, because so far all I have been focusing here was the website in itself and the information, but let's try to see how can we generate a customer journey as well in the same time, so we can sort of fulfill this conversion part of it.